Jesus the Lord.
God, God help. Thank you.
Bible, Holy Bible is for God. Yeah. Jesus.
We need you. You need your help, God. We need your help. I better go. Beg Thank you.
Jim Jones would have killed to have a nationwide cult this devoted to him. Those were Trump supporters bursting into tears outside of the Manhattan Courthouse where jury deliberations are currently going on in Donald Trump's trial. And these people really do help me understand how Jim Jones developed such a devoted cult. To help break down some of the phenomenon we're seeing in the MAGA world, I talked to respected psychiatrist Dr. Bandy X Lee, who taught at Yale for 17 years. She's worked closely with the World Health Organization and NATO, and she ultimately edited a New York Times best-selling book titled The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump. I interviewed her about Donald Trump supporters and about their cult-like mentality, and she broke down what she calls the contagion of Donald Trump. If you enjoy this video and this interview, make sure you leave a like, comment a blue heart. Let's roll the clips. So I want to dig in really quickly to this Trump contagion that you keep talking about. Can you explain that to the audience and to me?
Yes, there are a lot of dynamics occurring, of course, that people can't quite grasp because they're unaccustomed to it. And so I gave the phrase Trump contagion basically to a psychological phenomenon that consists of emotional, cognitive, and behavioral contagion. So we don't think of mental symptoms as being contagious, but in fact they are, perhaps more so than physical symptoms, because you don't need physical exposure for them to transmit. And so now in the age of mass media and social media, we see this phenomenon where, well, we know how cultural phenomena can occur. Things, you know, laughter is infectious, yawns are infectious, but we haven't quite experienced the situation of severe mental symptoms being contagious, and they're actually more contagious than any other phenomenon that would be within the realm of health. And so that's what I've tried to alert against since publishing The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, assembling 27 psychiatrists and mental health experts to warn against Donald Trump's dangerousness, that it was not just an individual psychological problem, but a public health threat because of his position in such a powerful office as the U.S. presidency.
Yeah, and what do you think are the qualities of the people who he attracts? So the people that he is emotionally manipulating, is it because they have some gap in their life that needs to be filled? Are they looking for some sort of meaning or purpose? Not to draw this parallel again, but I've read a lot about Jim Jones, and the people that fell for his shtick, essentially, were people that didn't have a lot of meaning anywhere else in their life. He preyed on people that didn't have a lot of meaning, in fact. So do you think people that are attracted to Donald Trump are looking for some sort of meaning, or?
Yes. Actually, in my book, Profile of a Nation, Trump's Mind, America's Soul, which I wrote in 2020 very rapidly to warn against a potential violent incident after the 2020 election, which turned out to come to pass, as well as that an election would not end his presidency, which is what happened with his followers. Still close to 70% of Republicans believe that he is the rightful elected president. So this comes from it originates from his own emotional need to fulfill his feelings of inadequacy, lack of self-worth. So he fills that void through adulation of the public. So his ability to sense what the public needs and to project, even in an exaggerated way, what the public is yearning for, is quite developed. Adolf Hitler was nicknamed to be a seismograph of crowds. He could sense the crowds in uncanny ways that normal individuals like you or I could never imagine doing. And so Donald Trump, even though he is quite mentally impaired, he makes up for that impairment through his sensing of the crowds, recruitment of followers, and creating an atmosphere where he would have almost a frenzied followership. And this is all occurring at the level of the unconscious. We don't think of mental activity as being unconscious, but neuroscientists have discovered that anywhere between 95 and 99% of mental activity occurs unconsciously. This is especially so when people are in distress, when people are fearful. So in times of socioeconomic stress, or where there's a vast amount of psychological impairment, or the kind of mental health crises that we're experiencing almost as another mental health, public health problem. These are the times when such individuals rise, and we observe them as demagogues and tyrants, and that's a natural consequence of having someone of such severe mental impairments in such a powerful position.